This video is going to take you through taking your parts from Corel Fusion 360 and getting them ready to take into CorelDRAW. At the point of making this video, Fusion 360 and CorelDRAW, there was some problem between the two packages that when we brought in curves like this one I'm highlighting, it wouldn't show them in CorelDRAW. So this is a workaround. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the base. We're going to work our way down through these parts. We're going to click on the base and we're going to hit create drawing. And what we're going to do, the first time we do this, we've got first the component 1 selected. We're going to do a new drawing from scratch and we're going to make the page much bigger than A3 because we need all of these parts to sit out side by side on the paper. So I'm going to go with A1. It's probably too big, but better to be big, too big than too small. So we click on A1 and then OK. And it's going to set out that one piece and take it into the drawing environment. You can see that new tab that's opened, and we've got all these different toolbars along the top. So it will take a couple of minutes the first time you do it. But this is my third shot at doing this video today, so mine's working a lot quicker. So you see this view that comes in. We're going to change the orientation of that because this view here is the end-on view of that base. There's no useful information there for the laser cutter. So we need to change that orientation to top. And we'll bring it back over and see that's a good view to have. Okay. What you do need to check is that the scale remains 1:1. Okay, if it's not 1:1, then your part will be too big or too small. If it's 2:1, your part will be too big, and if it's 1:2, your part will be too small. So I'm just going to place that where somewhere on the page, and then hit OK. Now, because of the curve problem, we can't create DXFs. But we can create a PDF and bring the PDF into CorelDRAW, and it's good that the size remains the same, so our drawings will be able to be laser cut. So what we don't need is this border around the outside. So I'm just going to click on that border and delete it, and we don't need the table either, so I'm going to delete that too. Now, we've got our parts there. It's very important that we save this, something sensible. So I'm going to save this as a PDF for CorelDRAW. And then hit save. And now we go back to our drawing, our mod, our design rather, and we're going to work our way down through it. So we've done the base. Next, we're going to do the left side. And I'm going to create a drawing from, so I secondary click on the left side and I scroll down to select create drawing. This is the same as we did it the first time, but we've got to change a couple of things here. We've got to change it from drawing create new to drawing as the PDF for CorelDRAW. That's the tab we've made up here. We don't want it to make a new sheet because we want them all on one sheet, so we change it to sheet 1, and you'll notice there it's changed to A1. We can't change them because that sheet has already been made. So we click OK, and we see here again that's no use for us. That's the front view of the part, so we need to see it from either the left or the right. So we're going to change it to left, and we can click and then hit OK, making sure again it's on scale 1:1. Now this does get a bit repetitive. You need to do it all the way down through all these parts. Secondary click, create drawing, change it to PDF, change it to sheet 1, click OK, change it from the front to the left, make sure it's on scale 1:1, click OK. Back to the desk tidy, and we need to do the right side now. Create drawing, PDF from CorelDRAW, sheet 1, OK, and then right or left, doesn't matter, should be exactly the same. Click OK. Then we did the right side, we're going to do middle cross, create drawing, PDF, sheet 1, OK. Now this time we don't need to change the view because the front is the correct view for that part. And then this is where I'm going to go a bit out of order because the angled one causes problems. We're going to come back to that. I'm just going to bring in the back first. So secondary click, create drawing, PDF for CorelDRAW, sheet 1, OK. Place that in, making sure it's scale 1 to 1, remember. Okay, now this is where we have a slight issue. So if I bring in the angled one, create drawing, and PDF for CorelDRAW, sheet 1, OK. And see, when we bring that in, for some reason it's changed it to scale 2 to 1. But this is useful that it's changed the size. I'm just going to accept that just now and show you why there's a problem with this viewpoint. Can you see those second lines on the top and all around it? That's because it's looking at the angled part straight on. This part is not that size. Even if I change it to be 1 to 1, problem is it's at an angle. It's not the right size for in there. It's not what we call the true shape. Now, I'm sure that Fusion 360 will come up with a solution to this problem, but we've got a little workaround that we can do. So I'm just going to delete that one. Now, the orientation when we brought them in was all relative to these views on the cube. Okay, remember it was the front that we were always bringing in. That's why we were seeing the sides as that rectangle and the base as that rectangle there, and so on. And you can see here that angle bit, we're seeing the top of that. The actual true shape of that angled piece is only visible when you bring it round to that viewpoint there. Now, I don't know what angle that is, and it doesn't really matter. And this is where we need to make sure that we've got all our joints easily identifiable, if you like. So I'm going to turn on my joints in the browser here, and you can see now there's only one joint that is touching this angled piece, and it's this one here. Okay, so let's scroll down. That's called rigid 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on that, and I am just going to delete that joint. Now, when I delete the joint, that bit comes back to being clear on the top view. So now I'm just going to secondary click on the angled piece. I'm going to create the drawing. I'm going to make sure we put it into PDF for Corel, into sheet 1. Click OK. There's a version mismatch. Get the latest. Okay, so it's telling me there's an issue with it because I've moved it. So I'm going to go back now. Oh, not. I'm going to go back here now. And I'm assuming that this is just because I've changed and deleted the joint, saying there's something wrong with what you've done. So I'm going to go. Sorry, clicking back. I thought I had an error message here. I may well have, but we're going to work this out. Let's not panic. Okay. So that part there, the angled part, I'm going to do that process again. Create drawing, making sure it's PDF for CorelDRAW, into sheet 1, click OK. Come back to here, and now, for some reason, because I changed it, it's put it on 2 to 1. I think it's just thinking you want that larger on that screen. Now, from the cube that I was showing you a second ago, we know that the front view is no use. We need to go up to the top view. And I can place that in there, hit OK. Now everything there is good. What I'm going to do now is output that. So click on the output as a PDF, and we can just accept that. We only need the current sheet. And hit OK. You don't actually need to change it to current sheet. So PDF for Corel, that's a useful name for that. So I'm just going to hit save. That's going onto my desktop. But you put it wherever you save it. And that's good to go. One thing I would suggest is that you go back to your drawing and just undo the deleting of that joint, okay? Because you want to keep your assembly nice and neat. It's very important that you do save your PDF before you do that, because if I hit save now on this, it should probably update that. You see you get a mismatch here. I click on that. If I click up here rather, sorry, it will update this to show you that the wrong side, okay? So that hopefully highlights why we need to do that little workaround there to get the actual size for that part. Otherwise, we've got all these extra useless lines. Anyway, that's how we create all those drawings. So we've now made that into a PDF. So I'm just going to minimize that and minimize my web page behind. I'm going to bring in CorelDRAW, and I'm going to bring into this a secondary click, and I'm going to place. So you get this dialog box. Now I put my stuff onto my desktop, and I'm going to bring in my PDF for CorelDRAW. I'm going to hit place. Now when it brings this, we want to keep everything as curves, import comments in places. Yep, definitely don't hit crop contents to drawing page, otherwise you will resize everything. Just hit OK. And now you just click once on the screen. And all of these parts should be the same size. We can just check. So I'm going to zoom right in here. On that part there to there, it should be 3. It's probably going to tell us that it's just under. Probably because I didn't get right on the lines. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that line because we do not want extra lines. So now we would select all of this and change it to millimeters. It needs to be in red, 0.001. And that should be ready for saving to be laser cut. Of course, we would want to put our initials on here. So just click on the letter there, the A. Just click anywhere. Don't drag a box, but just put your initials on. And then what you can do is drag that into some discrete place on each part. Command C, Command V will copy that, and you can take a copy and put it on each of your parts. And then just make sure you save it. I'm going to just save that on my desktop. I know I want this out of 811. Then I would have my name, so that would be Robin, and my teacher's name is Mr. McIntosh, and you would submit that through the Bitly link once you've got that saved. Good luck, everybody.